Hi, so in this video I'm going to be painting an eye in Affinity Designer. It's also valid for Affinity Photo. It's exactly the same workflow. I'm going to be commenting things. I will time-lapse whatever is not necessary to comment. I hope you like it and ask me whatever you want in the comments area. So let's start. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is drawing an outline for the eye, so I can put the paint on top. The thing is that I don't want to spend time drawing the eye, so what I'm going to do is just trace it with the brush. Opa, that's not the color. Well, it doesn't really matter. That's a good color too. Just what I want to do is just take the main shapes like so. I mean, sometimes I do this, sometimes I just do it myself. I just don't want this to be eternal. So I want you to get the ideas of what I do when I'm painting. So I think that's good to go. Now I can switch off this one. It's not that I see much, but it's fine, it's fine. So now I'm going to start adding colors. So I'm gonna put it out like so. I like to have it at hand. The swatches on the color. And another thing I like to do is generating a color palette from the image I have as a reference. So that's what I'm going to do now. Create a palette from document as document palettes. And now I have it here. So those are the colors I'm going to be using mainly. Usually I prefer to pick the colors from the color wheel instead of picking them with the color picker from the reference, because that trains my eye. Just you can do whatever you want, no? But this is the way I do it. This is what they told me, my teachers. So that's what I try to do. And let's start. Another important thing is the settings for your brushes. Opacity, I usually put it down to something that is not 100 when I start painting. The flow is set to 40% and the hardness I'm gonna put it down to 0. Because this is gonna be blocking, oh my god, blocking the first shapes and things like that. I don't know why it's lagging. It shouldn't be lagging. It never lags. Now it's lagging. So another thing I'm going to be doing is just pull this up and make sure I have this brush, which is called Round Light Brush number 2. It's from the defaults that Affinity Designer comes with. Now it's fine. And that's the one I'm using. See, it looks horrible at the moment, but at some point I just hope it starts looking decent. So, oh, this is way too much. And again, this is another thing, I'm gonna repeat it, because when you change your brushes, this you have to set it again, which is just, anyways, just be aware of that. Okay, and let's start painting. The colors are not accurate probably right now, but I will just go changing it as I go. Okay, so something like this. Just be aware that as you go adding your colors that you pick in here, they are going to be also added there, I think. Takata. See what I mean? Yeah. So let's go back. Yeah. Now I have that blue in there. It was just a sample anyways. Yeah. Let's go. I just like to use the wheel. I mean, I also have the swatches, of course, outside, but I just like to use the wheel. And I also like to put a bit of noise in my brushes. Also, as you can see, I go increasing and decreasing the size of my brush. The thing is that I have a Cintiq and I have everything set in my keyboard, and I recommend you first off, of course, to have a tablet. You don't have to have a Cintiq, but a tablet, a Wacom or a whatever, and of course set your keyboard ready for all this increasing and decreasing, and use your keyboard shortcuts, because it's going to save you a lot of time and frustration. That's important also. Okay. And I always also have the colors, like when I was painting in oil on canvas, I like to have my palettes at hand, my color palette, because you go changing your colors and things like that, so you need that. I don't like this brush at the moment. I need to change it to this one. For pencil, whatever the name, for blah blah blah. It says 4, but I'm gonna use it for what I want, which is this. Yes, way too dark. Yes. And again, just don't forget to change the opacity down to something that is not too strong, because you're doing now just the main blocking still. So what I'm trying to do is just study, because it's good for your hands, it's good for your mind, especially when you've been 20 days at home. Well, 15, but that's a lot. And I like to do these things and forget about other projects that are maybe not so much fun sometimes. I'm gonna put a bit of noise and go squinting my eyes, so I don't really like to use this much. Sometimes it just looks too blurry, but because I didn't have the opacity, the hardness set to 0, and I painted it with the pretty hard brush, I'm gonna use it just to spread it apart a bit. I use it, I'm not saying I don't use it, I use it, but I prefer just to use the hardness setting than smudging things around. Smudging things. It's like this. When you're painting eyes, you want to make reflections like this, because it's going to help you a lot when it comes to making it look more realistic and things like that. So use that because it works. It was really well. Now I'm going to start to add more detail to the eye. This should be as rounded, as perfectly rounded as it could be. There are other things you could do about it, but I prefer to paint everything like using my hand and not using primitives or things like that, or helping me with a marquee or something. I prefer just to, you know, I'm training my hand. This is why I do this. I'm not gonna do the eyelashes in the same layer. So that's what I'm trying to do, no? Train my hand. And so we just try to do everything on the fly. Come on. Man. So, this is way too dark. And I just opacity down. Come on. Oh, those, like, I'm gonna put it like this. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a Cintiq, which allows me to work more comfortably. You don't need it. I mean, with a bamboo, you're very good to go. I mean, I have a bamboo and an Intuos, and I've been working for many years with them, and they work perfect. Okay, it's just that this is more comfortable. But well, of course, it's better. I'm not gonna say it's not, but it is. Otherwise, you wouldn't spend so much money as they cost. But I mean, what I want to say is that you can work these things perfectly with a bamboo or things like that. Any other tablet that is way cheaper, and it's going to work just as good. And so now it's all a matter of having fun with it, like trying to keep the textures, always using your brushes, using, you know, tweaking them, things like that. I mean, that's the fun part. First prepare your base, then go building upon it. Always working, opacity, flow, that's very important, very important. Moving up, moving down, very important. And well, I'm looking forward to save up some time to make a very detailed tutorial on how to paint these pieces, not with an eye. This is just a study, but I would like to do something like what I've been doing in my last artworks, if you've seen it, which is these mammals, these animals, these entomology pieces. It's a lot of fun to do, and yeah, it'd be nice to prepare something detailed about my methodology so you guys can see it, because I know many of you would like to, as you told me. And yeah, it's in my agenda. It is, as many other things I have in mind. Not sure. Could be better. The thing is that having a camera looking at me while I'm working, I mean, it's fine, but I can tell you that I'm pretty expressive when I'm working, and sometimes I talk and I swear and I say things, and I feel a bit like constrained. But you know, whatever. If I just say something too terrible, I will just mute it, and you won't hear it. So I think I'm going to change to this one. This is with the mouse, so I need to use this. Yeah, definitely, I think that it's gonna work better. I'm going to put the opacity down and the hardness and the flow a little bit more up. And I'm going to start with the eyelashes. Just the same. Now I think I'm gonna change to this one just to add a bit of okay, that's not good. That's not good. Let me try with this in here. It's not bad. And again, a bit bigger. Like so, and now what I want to do is just put the outline of this, not so dark, just blend it with the rest of the eye. But actually I could even just work from closer. Now it's clear to see that there is a gap here that we don't have in there. I should just correct that. Yeah. Well, more or less. I mean, it could be way better, but at least I'm being able to tell you some of the things I do. I'm gonna put another layer on top, and I am going to put this down and this down, very, very much down, and I'm gonna just come all over the eye because I don't want it to be totally sharp. Yeah, something like that. Just gonna be adding some details here. The same for pupil and iris. That's it. Okay, so now I need to just make it a little bit more blurry. I don't want it to be too sharp around the pupil and the iris, things like that. And I will put some I'm gonna pull this out here, and I'm going to just make some last touches to it. Too dark. I think that's way too dark, so because I did it in a new layer, I'm gonna put it like this, and I'm going to, hey you, come back. Here. So I was saying I'm going to pull out the effects, and because I put this in a new layer, only this, well, only those, I'm gonna give it a Gaussian blur like this, so it's not so sharp. Yeah, well, more or less it's a study, so more or less. Now, now I'm going to add last details, always just pulling this down. And well, that's more or less it. I mean, details then, but basically that would be, or I finished the study. And of course you can just make it as realistic as you want, but for a study, more or less. I mean, I think I've given you some tips on some of the things I do. And yeah, let's see. And that's the eye. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Not perfect, but not too bad. Yeah. So, well, I'm sure you have questions or whatever, just leave them in the comments area. This is just a study, and you know, I'm just trying with the brushes and things like that. So yeah, that's basically it for today. I hope you learned something out of this, and also if you have some questions, just let me know. I'm always here, I always reply, and if I don't, it's because I haven't seen it, but I usually see everything, so feel free to ask whatever. Mwah. Bye.